Excuse me there, you watching this video, why are you buying BBs? Like you're just spending loads of money. I mean, what's the point when you can just make your own? The keen-eyed of you out there may have seen there's a new addition to the office, and it is this here. It is the Creality CR10 SE. I have a penchant for 3D printers. Don't you have a garage full of 3D printers that you use to create very, very cool and unique airsoft items for the airsoft community? Why, yes, actually, I do. And if you want to check out some of the items that I make with my 3D printers, head over to projectairsoft.co.uk. It is a fantastic airsoft toy shop online where you can collect all your accessories for your airsoft toys. How exactly are we going to make this infinite supply? Step 1 of having a device which could make the BBs has already been obtained. Step 2 will be creating the file or information that we're going to send to the printer to create the BBs, and we're going to have to custom make that ourselves. Option 3 will be the material which we put through the printer in order to make the BBs, and also Creality have supplied that for me as well. They sent me over some of their Hyper PLA in white, so it already matches BBs that we'd use in the field. The print temperature on this filament is also rather high too, so I expect it's going to be similar to like a PLA+, which means it's not only going to be easy to print, but it's also going to be ruddy strong as well. So, without further ado, why don't we just make a file for all of our wonderful BBs?
But before we get into all of that fun stuff, why don't you subscribe? Lots of interesting content coming here on the channel, lots of airsoft reviews and things to look at, like those replicas in the corner there, and I actually have a new gameplay coming as well in the next couple of weeks, so you're not going to want to miss out on those. Also, a big thank you to all of my lovely patrons for supporting the channel month after month. You are all amazing.
Now, as airsofters, we all know the size of the BBs we use when we're airsofting, and they are roughly 6mm in diameter. I say roughly 6mm because I'm pretty certain they're supposed to be 5.95mm plus or minus a little bit. And they're designed this way because there needs to be a little bit of tolerance between the BB and also the barrel, because if they're too big, then they ain't feeding. But when you're dealing with thermoplastics, you also have to take into account the expansion and the contraction of the plastic too. So the first round of BBs we're going to be doing are going to be a little bit undersized, so we can see how big they are after the first round of printing, and then we can adjust the sizes there as we go. Before we take this model into the slicer, which cuts this 3D model shape up into information that the printer can understand, I'm actually going to chop the bottom of the BBs off just a little bit. This is going to deform the shape of the BB from a perfect sphere into not a perfect sphere, but the printer needs to have a little bit more surface area for the BB to stick on so it can actually print it in the first place. It is a shame, it is a pain, but this is just a necessity of what we need to do in order to get these things to be made in the first place. Actually, I'm just going to do 1 BB instead of 9, because if this one is the wrong size, then all of them are going to be the wrong size. So now that file is made, let's get it from the computer onto the printer. And it's actually really easy to do. All we need to do is go into the Creality slicing software, connect to our printer on the network because we've already connected it to the Wi-Fi, which was very easy, quick and intuitive to do, by the way. We upload a print file that we have made, we send it to the printer to print, and just like that, it begins. Ooh, and here we are with our very first BB. Now that actually doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of discoloration because I guess there was still a little bit of brown filament from a previous print inside the nozzle, but apart from that, this does look pretty darn good. But now the test. Let's get our calipers and see how big this BB actually is. And we are looking at 5.51, pretty much exactly what I put in for the size to be. So that means that this printer is very spot on. I think it's worth us shooting this and seeing how well it actually does in the chrono. Right, here we go. And on 0.32 gram BBs, we are chronoing at 1.1, 1.12, 1.14, 1.13. That is perfectly on the nose for UK limits. Right, let's see if this will load into our mag. It is a little bit undersized, so it could potentially not like it. But no, it's in.
That's what she said.
The first 3D printed BB, it chronos at 374.7. No way. No way. Oh wait, oh no, there was one there. That was at 1.27 joules. Right, well, because that worked, let's get a load more BBs printed up and come back at it with a full mag. While these BBs are printing, let me take you through some of the features of this printer. It has linear rails for more precise prints, a direct drive extruder so you can print flexible materials, dual Z-axis motors and screws for ultra-level prints, a magnetic and flexible PEI print surface and heated bed, which makes print stick easier and remove quickly, a filament runout sensor so you never get caught running out mid-print, a built-in light so you can see all of your glorious prints, a touchscreen display, 2 USB ports and wireless connectivity so you can print from a USB stick or right from your computer over Wi-Fi, automatic bed leveling so you get that perfect first layer every time, and you can also print at speeds up to 600 millimeters a second, which is ridiculous for a stock printer. This printer was also incredibly quick and easy to build. It literally is one cable goes into this screen, 2 screws go in the bottom there, 2 screws go in the bottom there, a screw in here, a screw in here, and like 3 screws here for a mount to put that screen on. And that is it. That is everything you need to do to build this printer. And just like that, we have now got 27 printed BBs all ready to go. Now, most of them did have a little bit of flashing or stringing on there, which I had to take off and finish, but generally speaking, they're all pretty darn good. A couple of them did come unstuck from the build plate as well, which was a little bit of a pain because it meant that I didn't get as many BBs out of the print that I wanted to, but I did think that was going to happen anyway because of how small the surface area on the bottom of the BB was. But the fact that I got this many out of that many prints, very happy with that. And genuinely, just looking at these things, like, they just look like BBs. There's nothing about them which is suspicious or seemingly different. They just look like your normal type of BB. I think we'll also weigh a BB before we shoot them, because then I can set up the chrono and see how many joules we've got going with it. And lucky for me, I just so happen to have an incredibly sensitive scale. So we turn our scale on, let it zero out at 0 grams, and then we get our BB and it comes in at 0.08 grams. Now, 0.08 grams is essentially illegal for UK airsoft. The minimum BB weight we're allowed to use here in the UK is 0.2 grams. So unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to legally use these at any UK airsoft site. But I'm very interested to see what kind of joules this thing puts out. So let's get 0.08 grams on the chrono and do some shooting. Well, it fires, so that's a good thing. 0.34 joules or 272 FPS. 3.6, 3.6 again, 3.6 again, 3.5. Oh, that one didn't feed. Okay, there we go. 4.1, 4.5, 3.9. Oh, misfeed, misfeed. Nothing coming out there now. So here is the results from the 9 BBs we were able to shoot, and to be fair, it was pretty consistent when it was firing. If the minimum BB weight wasn't 0.2 grams and you were in a bit of a pinch, you could print your own BBs and then use them in like a sidearm or a pistol or something like that. Especially if you're a sneaky sniper and you just want to have quiet shots on people who are pretty much a couple of meters away from you. At that point, the weird shape of the BB probably isn't going to affect the aerodynamics as much, so your shot should still land on target. However, for anything more than 5 to 10 meters away, these things are going to be so horrendously non-aerodynamic, you're going to be incredibly lucky if you could hit a barn door. That being said though, I'm very happy with how this project turned out, and I must admit I am shocked at how consistent those things were. I have got a lot of ideas for upcoming airsofty projects, so if you don't want to miss out on those, hit that big old subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.